we're just going to go ahead and get straight into just unpacking what has happened this past week in WWE. As besides learning more about learning about a couple of the latest or the first few members of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024, we have some stuff to talk about in terms of just recapping this week's shows. And also, after that, I'm also gonna give my review at the end of this segment of WWE 2K24 since I was able to get my hands on it this past week. So Raw, it started out with Cody and Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, preparing to confront Roman Reigns and The Rock on Friday. Then the Ring General, the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, had a dominant performance against Dirty Dom with an easy win. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark have earned their tag team title opportunity after picking up a few wins the past few weeks and picking up a bunch of momentum, especially with the win over the former champs Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. So that match is going to set up next week's tag team title match between the Kabuki Warriors and Baszler and Stark on Monday Night Raw. Then Becky Lynch and Nia Jax had a one-on-one match, which was interrupted, and it was a disqualification win for Nia Jax as Liv Morgan did what Becky did to her and Jax's match last week, where Becky got involved, disqualification. Morgan did the same thing by giving her a, quote, taste of her own medicine by getting involved in her match, which led to just them arguing and bickering and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, Jax ended up laying waste to both of them, knocking them both out, still being presumed as one of the most dominant forces in the women's division as we speak, or perceiving that role that she's been given in that sense. And it also set up a one-on-one match between Morgan and Lynch, which will be interesting to see. After that, Andrade finally made his return to the main roster in his Raw return. He picked up a win over Apollo Crews. And then the main event was Drew McIntyre versus main event Jey Uso. And when it was all said and done, just like last week, the person who was facing Drew McIntyre had the win in their grasp. But the Bloodline got involved. And it ended up costing the person. As last week, Cody, who lost his first match since losing at WrestleMania 39, took the loss against Drew McIntyre with a Samoan Spike from Solo and just simply Bloodline involvement in the main event last week. And this week, Jey Uso got involved. Well, it was more of a distraction, so he got involved. And then Jey Uso got Claymored, won the match. So 2 straight victories for Drew McIntyre with the Bloodline help. And Seth Rollins ended up coming out to attempt to save save Jey Uso from Jimmy, which he was able to throw off that attack. But he ended up getting a Claymore to the face, which was no surprise, not even to me. So yeah, that'll do it for Monday Night Raw. For NXT or NXT Roadblock this week, the Wolf Dogs, the NXT Tag Team Champions, retained their tag team titles over Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase University, or Chase U. Which, as we've seen over the past week or two, is that there's issues beginning to come up as Stacey Jane has made it very clear that she does not care for Chase U. It's like, yeah, she helped her, and it seemed like she was truly becoming a face, but it was just the persona manipulating them into having that false hope, seemingly having trust with her, because she's called the people Chase U losers, and led Thea Hale to get angry, led to a fight to break out between Izzy Dane, Kiana James, and Thea Hale, and just basically that friendship that Thea Hale thought she had with JC Jane, and it seemed like she was getting advice and setting that example. Well, JC Jane is finally making it clear that she doesn't care anymore, and she was just, I guess, messing with her. I don't know, but it's just she let Thea Hale believe that she was setting a good example for her and having that friendship with her. When in reality, she didn't really care. She was just, I guess, using her for her own pleasure. Shawn Spears made his match return. Had his return match in a squash match, which was no surprise. Won the match and ended up provoking Ridge Holland, who attempted to make an attack with a steel chair, but did not. The Kabuki Warriors retained their tag team titles over the challengers of NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley, and to no one's surprise, well, at least not to my surprise, they retained their titles, won the match. But shockingly, it was I said this in a way of like an unhinged Roxanne Perez, who's truly took a heel turn to like a full 100%, attacked Lyra Valkyria after the match and basically seemingly broke her arm, or went, I guess just very much brought seemingly an injury to one of the arms of the champion. But if I'm being honest, I didn't expect Roxanne Perez to attack Lyra. I expected Tatum Paxley to attack her, then set up the match at Stand and Deliver, but oh well. The Joe Gacy and Dijak rivalry continued in an Asylum match, which is a match we have not seen for the span of about like 7 or 8 years, because the last Asylum match that was in WWE was at, I believe, Extreme Rules between Dean Ambrose and Y2J Chris Jericho. And in this match, Joe Gacy was fended off, as Dijak did fend off Gacy with picking up a win in the side of the match. But the question that remains is this the end of the rivalry? I would say yes, because it's been, two straight wins for, about 2 or 3 straight wins for Dijak. Picked up a win at Vengeance Day, and he picked up a win at Roadblock, so it's 2-0. If it's a 3-match series, he swept it already. But who knows, even though he's gotten multiple wins, and they both deserve to move on from this. Sol Ruka made her return on Tuesday night, as she ended up giving the assist of Fallon Henley, who picked up a win over Blair Davenport. With that assist from a returning Sol Ruka, William Regal, the former NXT general manager, made his return to confront his son, the NXT Heritage Cup champion Charlie Dempsey, and his faction, and the faction he's a part of, No Quarter Catch Crew. And Charlie Dempsey made a statement by saying that he would defend the Heritage Cup better than he ever would, and it was a very, very interesting segment. Tony D'Angelo and Carmelo Hayes competed in the main event of Roadblock for a shot to become the number 1 contender to face Ilya Dragunov at Stand and Deliver. And a distraction that caused Carmelo Hayes to lose his focus helped the Don of NXT pick up the win, and it was a distraction that Trick Williams was returning, but he didn't come out. However, post-match, Angelo gave Hayes him a present, and that was the return of Whoop That Trick, that boy, Trick Williams. So yeah, that'll do it for NXT. As for SmackDown, Logan Paul, the United States Champion, finally made his return, and it ended with an KSI RKO. Interesting. He came out to the ring. He said it was the first time to be in Dallas. Then he invited KSI, who was at ringside, the co-founder of Prime, to enter the ring, and they unveiled a giant Prime bottle to be the ring sponsor, and a sponsorship, agreed sponsorship with WWE. There was a giant Prime bottle in the middle of the ring, and I was really confused. It was a very interesting segment when they did that, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't English right now thinking about it, if I'm being honest. But anyways, Randy Orton, who is looking to get some payback on Logan Paul for his attack at Chamber and costing him a title opportunity at WrestleMania, he interrupted, had a sneak attack, tried to RKO Logan Paul. That was thwarted off as Logan Paul got out of the ring. And unfortunately, KSI was on the receiving end of it. And, he was just laying on the floor, laying on top of that Prime logo in the center of the ring, and got drenched in Prime. And it was funny because Orton said, this is pretty good. And then he drenched it, just poured it on KSI. And it's just funny to me because he's actually tried Prime, and he was on Logan Paul's podcast. So continuing on and just simply trying to move forward is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens teamed up, defeated the team of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, A-Town Down. Bobby Lashley of the Pride Almighty Prophets, and the leader of the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, tried to settle the score and finish off the rivalry with a one-on-one match, but ended with a no contest / disqualification as AOP, Others of Pain, got involved, and it looks like they're potentially setting up a 6-man tag team match that I've personally been wanting for weeks now, or at least just a match that ends with a decisive winner, and I'm going to go assume that it's going to be at WrestleMania. The Buff Barbie, Tiffany Stratton, remains undefeated on the main roster as she picked up another win on SmackDown against Michin of OC, who is just in a place of, I don't know what's going on in life right now when it comes to the OC. Dragon Lee, representing the LWO, picked up a win over Angel of Legado del Fantasma. However, even though he did get the win, he got no help from LWO as he got attacked by Legado del Fantasma afterwards. And that's also potentially setting up a big tag team match at WrestleMania. But who knows? It ended with Roman, Rock, Rhodes, and Rollins all being in the same ring at the same time. It was a very electrifying and very intense moment. It was insane. But if you want to know more about it, go look into it yourself. As much as I could and as much as I want to talk about it, there's no reason to, because just mentioning it, you already got it. But the two things that came out of that segment, besides it just being amazing and intense, Seth Rollins accepted the tag team match challenge laid down by The Rock last week for Cody and him. And it ended, number 2, it ended with a slap to the face by Cody. So getting some payback from WrestleMania Kickoff just a couple weeks ago back in Las Vegas. So it was a very intense moment, to say the least. The Hall of Fame class of 2024 for WWE has had its first 3 inductees revealed, as we have hometown creator of ECW in Phil, which makes sense since they're going to Philadelphia, the birthplace of ECW. The Tribal Chief's special counsel, the wise man, Paul Heyman. Bull Nakano, who is a former women's world champion during her tenure in WWE when it was formerly WWF. And the U.S. Express, which is the team of Mike Rotunda, which is the father of Bray Wyatt, the late Bray Wyatt, and Bo Dallas, and Barry Windham, who is the uncle of the two. Dirty Dominic Mysterio had some exciting news and an exciting moment outside of the ring, off TV, as he finally tied the knot on Friday with his longtime girlfriend. As over the last few days, there were reports that Dominic and his longtime beau, Marie Juliette, were set to get married within a week or two. Soon after that, Mysterio was set to face Gunther and all that sort of stuff. Bearing the scars of his battle, he was looked after by Rhea Ripley and the rest of the Judgment Day, but it didn't look like he was hurt enough to be run off TV. Fans will have to wait and see when he returns. Videos emerged from his wedding that day, confirming that he had been married, with his own cousin sharing stories on Instagram. But that's not the only thing that comes out of that from those stories being shared on Instagram, as she also posted a story in which the young star took the mic to speak to his family and friends, as he was booed out of the building in a hilarious moment reminiscent of when he tries to cut a promo in a WWE ring, as not only did he thank his parents, which includes his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio, and his mother, and I believe Angie, I might be wrong, so don't quote me on that, but his mother and father, and his friends and other family members for being there. And I watched the clip, and I thought it was funny that he was getting booed. Man, you're getting celebrated for getting married, and you're getting booed by people. That's really funny. So, yeah. And to end our WWE segment here, I'm just going to go ahead and mention that I got the chance to play WWE 2K24. I played a little bit of showcase mode. I actually enjoy it, but I kind of wish they did what they did for 2K14's showcase, where they had one match from each WrestleMania. But it kind of makes sense, even though you're skimming over some WrestleManias. So there's that. I got to play Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and I continuously lost a handful of times. But if it was like a series of matches, like out of 7, I won at least probably 4. I won the better half. I actually won the series, but I kept losing. There was at least 1 or 2 instances where I was like, "Yep, I'm about to get pinned. I'm gonna turn off the game." So I just thought I'd mention that. But overall, it was a fun experience. I did lose my first ever match playing the game because the thing I noticed is that with 2K23, I was used to playing the not time, but the rapid timing kick out system where someone Xbox you press A, press A, and I would spam to kick out, which is how it worked. But I didn't realize they changed it because it was the same little circle with the A button in the middle. But that I kept spamming it, like rapidly pressing it, and it wasn't doing anything. And I later found out that you had to hold it down. So it was a very interesting moment because I was Trick Williams versus Dominic Mysterio, recreating their NXT North American title match at No Mercy. But it was interesting, and I'm glad that I got to learn a little bit more about all these little things that they've made, all these little changes, especially with the pin system. And the submission system is different, where you don't spam the button, you just hold down the certain button that it tells you to. So just the little systems for the pinfalls and submissions was very, very different. And they added special guest referee, which I absolutely love. So, yeah, that's all I really got to say about WWE in terms of this episode.